I'm just gonna hit record and then we're gonna get going. So for those of you that have your little sheet, the very most important thing, and it's okay if you guys aren't, none of you are looking at me this whole time because that's the point of this, okay? I want you to pull up your Instagram account and I want you to look at the very last thing that you posted. Okay, so here's the kicker with this activity. And this is why this is very, very first. It says create an engaging Instagram post. And this is so important because all the networking you're gonna do over the next 60 minutes, that thing that you posted very last is gonna be what they see and what they judge your entire account on. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you a couple minutes with each of these exercises. So I want you guys to go in and assess it and be like, is this really like a really good foot in the door for somebody who's just now seeing my stuff? Or I want you to post something that's new that is engaging. So this doesn't necessarily have to be like about your challenge groups or anything. Like you can go on there and ask a question. What I really, really want to do with this specific post is when people look at it, they want to respond to it. So you can ask a question, you can ask for advice. That's a really, really great way to get instant engagement. So like if you did a workout today, you can post one of your pictures. If you don't have a picture on your phone, then I also recommend taking photos of yourself and having several reels full of selfies just ready to go. But most of you should have that. So go ahead and just make a post really quick if you don't have a really good one right at the front. And again, you're trying to create like an introduction almost to, like when they see your post, they should know that you like fitness, right? And that you're a fitness account first and foremost. They may or may not know you're a Beachbody coach. That's sort of up to you. But the most important thing is just that you are a coach that is interested in what other people have to say and not just interested in what you have to say. That's important. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys one more minute to get that done. And then what we're gonna do is create an Instagram poll. So hopefully you guys have done this before. If you don't have any stories done for today, this may not land as well, but it still should. The coolest thing about polls is that's like free leads every time somebody answers one of your polls in almost any fashion, whatever the poll is about. It basically, every time somebody asks me a question or answers a question in one of my polls, I respond to them. I send them a direct message. So what's cool about Instagram, and if you guys have never done this before, hopefully you guys know some of the basics. But if you don't know how to post a story, you go up to the little camera at the top left corner and you pull it up, and it lets you plug in a photo. So again, you can just do a selfie if you have one right there on your phone. But what I want you to do is ask a poll question. So you pull up a picture that you want to use, and then there's a little square smiley face at the top, and you go down and you hit poll if you've never done this before. And I want you to ask a question. It can be, hey, have you worked out today? And you can do yes or no. I generally don't let people give me any kind of negative response. So I'll usually be like, have you worked out today? Yes or yes. There's like two positive answers. But I want you to create a poll because what I want to do later down this exercise is show you how to kind of engage with those people or how to do that. So once you've created that little poll, and again, just keep it super simple, super easy, then go ahead and just send that into your Instagram story. The way that you look at those results later is you go back into that same picture and you just swipe up and it will show you all of the people who answered that poll. And there's a little triangle on there that you can hit and just respond to them directly right there. And if it has nothing to do with fitness or whatever, I just try and connect with them about whatever the poll is about. But with this, if you're saying, hey, have you worked out today? You can message them back with a really simple question. What workout did you do? Right? I mean, it's really simple. It doesn't have to be anything super complicated. So once you've done your Instagram story, this is the activity that I'm just going to explain a little bit while you guys are finishing your polls. The follow-unfollow exercise is the one I get the most questions about, and it's the one that makes the most people uncomfortable. So the very first thing that you have to understand with networking is there's zero emotion that goes into it. You're not allowed to feel stuff. Okay. This is just like a pure business activity. It's like leaving your business card on someone's car, right? It's not meant to be like, oh my gosh, this is scary, or what are they going to think of me? That's not what this exercise is about. When the motion comes in is during the connection part of it. So honestly, you guys, when you're networking, this really is you going out there and getting yours. That's what networking is. It's getting your face in as many places as you possibly can. And that's it, so that people can see your account. So they can look at your little picture and want to click on it and be like, oh, who is that? Or I liked what their comment was. What did they say? What are they about? And then they'll go to your page. That's the whole purpose of this. So there's zero emotion in this part, but people really struggle with that. So what I'm going to teach you guys to do, and depending on how many followers you have, if you have over 1,000, 1,500 to 2,000, then I want you to do 100. If you have less than that, maybe just do 50, because you don't ever want to have you following more people than are following you. Okay, so you want to kind of keep a really good balance. So it might only be 15, it might be 25, whatever you think it is based on your following right now. Just pick a number, and that's what we're going to work with. So what we're going to do, and there's a couple ways to do this. A really simple way and a really good way is to go to your little heart and scroll all the way down to the bottom, because at the very bottom of this section, there is a little area called suggested for you. And these are people who are interested in kind of the same things that you are. They are people who Instagram has already kind of connected your interests with. And it's just a really great place to start with this exercise. Hang on, let me just read this. Carla said, what happens if you're following 1,000 and you only have 378 followers? Then you're gonna look a little desperate. So I would spend some time unfollowing those people very slowly. If you unfollow more than, I think, 300, then Instagram sends you a little thing and they're like, hey, do you have a robot that's working your account? That's not allowed. And they get really mad. So I would do this activity just for the heck of it today, but I would always keep like at least a 2-to-1 ratio with your followers and following, just because it's more professional looking, to be honest. And that way people, I don't know. I don't really know what it is about having more followers than who you're following, but it doesn't translate well on social media. So I would work to get that down a little bit and then start slowly with this activity. And as your followers start to grow with this, then you'll be able to increase how many people you follow. But okay, so with this activity, again, this is not emotional. So don't get sad if somebody like that you follow and then unfollow in a couple hours is like, you're so lame, you followed me and then unfollowed me. Those aren't your people anyway, and it doesn't matter. Okay, again, this is just leaving your business card. It's just getting out there. It's getting your profile seen. It's showing Instagram that you like to network socially. They like that. They want us coaches and users using all of their features. And that's the whole point of this exercise, is to use every single one of the features so that your content gets bumped up, right? So if you go down to that suggested for you, I want you guys to follow 50 to 100 people. It should take like less than 3 minutes. It's super fast. Follow, 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 follow. If you see somebody that's a coach, you can skip it. If you see somebody that is speaking a language you don't understand, you can skip it. If it looks weird, just skip over it. This exercise is really, really simple, okay? So as you guys do that, I'm gonna give you a couple other ideas where you can do this. You can also go to your little magnifying glass and pull up hashtags of interest that you have. I really like doing this with the Oreo page because people love Oreos like I do. And these are people that tend to have similar personality traits that I do. So I'll go in and whoever recently, posted or whatever, I'll go in and do it there. Or you can do this, well, those are the two best places to do it. You can also do this activity on interest pages. So like if there's like a fitness line that you really love, or there's like a food that you really love, like Oreos or whatever. I'm just going to use Oreos for the example. So if I go to the Oreo page, what I would do is I would go into who's following them. And I would literally, it pulls up their followers like this, right? And you can literally just scroll down and hit follow, 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 follow. I like this way a little bit better because everybody's going to choose a different page to do this with. And I honestly think, you guys, the further away from the Beachbody lingo, genre, whatever, like it's just going to help you find your niche more. So like if you like reality TV, like Megan and I really love, my girl Megan, really love Gary Vee. So even like doing that on your mentors pages that you really like, you're just networking with other people who already like the same things that you do. And again, this isn't emotional. It's not meant for you to be like, I'm your friend. No, I'm not. I'm your friend. No, I'm not. It's just getting yourself active and being social on social media, because all of these people are going to be like, oh, who is this person that just messaged me? And the goal is for them to come to your page and want to follow you back, and then maybe even engage in some of your content and create a connection there. That's the goal, right? That's the next step, but that's not what we're doing right now. We're just trying to follow them. I don't worry about if their accounts are private or not. Like this is like a no-brainer exercise. Just follow. Super simple. Let's see. Jess said, the issue with a third-party app is that IG doesn't like them. That's true. They're actually trying to get rid of them entirely, just so you guys know. They don't want third-party bots doing follow-unfollow activity. So that's why you keep your follow-unfollow activity really low. If you go over 100, then you're going to be in risk of that. So I always keep it pretty normal. Don't be excessive with it. And I only do this specific exercise spread out from each other. So like I'll do this one time in the morning, maybe one time in the afternoon, or one time in the evening. Like I don't do it a ton, but I do it enough, right? So let's see. What accounts should we be unfollowing? It depends on what. Well, that's later. So right now you're just going to follow people. So like in 1 or 2 or 3 hours, you guys can even wait until morning. You're just going to go back and unfollow all of those accounts that you just followed. All of them. I just got so many looks right now. Again, this isn't emotional. We're not like becoming friends with people and then being like, you're not my friend anymore, right? Again, it's just putting your business. I don't keep track of any of this, right? Networking is not tracking. Networking is working. I don't start tracking anything until I've connected with someone. Okay. So again, this just makes this really simple. You don't have to like worry about tracking. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. It's just no-brainer activity. This is you sitting down and being productive for an entire hour, right? Cutting out all the fluff. So if you actually have a conversation with somebody, if you actually like connect with someone on a comment, or you start talking to someone or having a conversation, then you've kind of moved it into the connection category. And that's where you can start tracking. That's where you can start doing some of those activities. But for now, the goal with what we're doing is trying to get that for you, to get that opportunity for you. Let's see. Yeah. So in a few hours, you'll go back and unfollow all of those people. And I'll show you how to do that at the very end. It's at the very end of the exercise. So once you've done that, go ahead and check that off. This next one is awesome. And this also really helps your skills as a coach. I think there's a lot of coaches who leave like 1 or 2 word comments, and it drives me crazy because honestly, with Instagram, they want you to have conversations. So the best way to get your post seen is to not just have a comment underneath it, but you responding to that comment and then that person responding back to you again, like having an actual conversation. Instagram will be like, oh my gosh, people are actually talking about this in multiple threads and multiple ways, and that will be good for you. So the best way to network with people, I believe, is to leave compliments. It's so simple. Everyone loves a compliment. I've met people who are super awkward with compliments like myself, but I still like them, right? So what I want you guys to get used to is leaving 3 to 5, actually I would say 5 to 8 word comments, always. Sometimes it's a stretch. Sometimes it's real hard to get that 8 word count in, but it's gonna really help you learn how to leave more genuine comments. It's gonna help you create more organic engagement. And this is what's so interesting. There's a really fine line with being creepy and being genuine. So the important part of this, and why I only have us do 10 right now, is because I want you to take your time for a second. I want you to look at maybe even some of those accounts that you just followed. Like you can go back right now and go into who you're following, right? Because all those people that you just followed are going to be right there. So if you can double network with them right now, it's going to be even better for you. So there's this little tiny button when you go into who you're following at the very top that says sort by default. I didn't even know this was there until I did this exercise, and one of my coaches was like, you can sort it, because I didn't know. But there's a little arrow that you click on and it will default to either date followed latest or date followed earliest. So you just default to latest and that will pull up everybody you just followed. And you can literally just go into that person's profile, look through a couple of their things, right? And pull up one of their pictures and leave a compliment. Oh my gosh, I just ran across your profile. I don't know how, but I just saw this picture of your dog and he's amazing, right? Like try and find something that you relate to. If you can't, don't just leave a compliment, right? Go to somebody else's page, right? So I'm gonna have you guys work on this for a second as I answer some of these questions, but you can either go into who you're following or you can go into your followers, which is a really great way to do that too. And whoever followed you the most recently is already at the top right there, and you can go into their pages and start networking with them and just leaving little compliments on their pages. Because the cool part about that, and what I love about that, is now you're networking with a new group. So you just followed all these new people, right? And you can do a couple of these exercises with those people, and you can do this exercise with the people who are already following you, which I don't think we network and talk to the people who are already following us enough. We don't value our current following enough, right? Let's see. Let me just make sure I'm not missing something. Yeah, genuine versus creepy. It's very important. Let's see. I'm the first person you ever followed, Jess? Dang. Let's see. So the sort button, it's kind of hard to see, but let me see if I can pull it back up for you guys really fast. You go into who you're following, and it's at the very, 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 very top right there. I don't know if you guys can even see this. It's like right here, but it's over on this side, and it's a teeny little button right there. And it allows you to sort, which makes your lives way easier. So she said, so is this part commenting on strangers' posts or our current following? You can do it on either. I personally do this with who just recently followed me, because it's really the only time I can go in and like network with those people immediately. And I think it makes a big impact personally, because then they'll start engaging on your posts more. And that's really what you want. You want to encourage the people that are already following you to feel connected to you. And if you go to their page when they go to your page and you leave a compliment, that's immediately going to leave that connection right there, right? And hopefully it'll start a conversation, and then they won't be so scared to come and talk to you on your page too. That's the whole point of this networking exercise. So once you've done that, the next one kind of ties into that. So those two are sort of similar. The next one is just interacting with your current followers. So if you did that already, then I'm going to have you do the opposite and either go leave 10 compliments on 10 new. I don't even like to call them strangers. I call them people. So if you stop calling them strangers, it won't be so scary. If you just think of them as people, then it just changes the way that you work, right? It changes the way you talk to them. It changes the way that you approach them. Because even though they're strangers, they're still people, right? And if they're creepy and they really are strange, then you can block them. But if they're not, then you can network with them and you can connect with them. And that's honestly, you guys, when social media is fun is when you really learn how to engage with your followers and your following. That's when it's fun. That's when you're like, oh my gosh, I want to get on Instagram. That I want to talk to people. Like, this is awesome. I don't just have to talk about fitness all the time. Like, I can find people who connect with me on a lot of different levels. And that's really when you start finding your tribe. That's really when you start to find people who like the same shows you like and the same foods you like and the same activities you like. And they have, you know, the similar family values and all of those things. Like, that's really, at the end of the day, what we want the most, right? Because everybody needs fitness. That's a given. That's never going to go away. Like, everyone needs exercise. Everyone needs nutrition. That's a universal language. And that's just something that we can immediately connect with people on. But if we can connect in other ways, in deeper ways, right? After we go through sort of these networking power hours and even bring that opportunity to ourselves, then we start inviting differently. So again, the whole point of this is just to be able to produce more opportunity for connection and produce more opportunity to invite people, right? So the next one is super, super easy. And I like this one because it takes like 30 seconds. But I just go into my news feed and we're gonna like 25 photos, okay? So if you just go into your feed, you can literally just like and scroll down and just like. What's cool about this, again, you guys, is that all those people you just followed are going to be the ones that are pulling up right now in your feed. And you're going to be like, who is that? I don't even know who that is. But it's because you just started following them and now you're liking their pictures, right? It's all connected, but all this activity of you being social is what Instagram wants. They want to see you using the app. So it's important, okay? Let's see. Kaylee said it becomes so much less awkward and you will find you bond with more people than you ever imagined. It's so true. I really think, you guys, that so many people have stranger danger, but if you just realize like people are just people and most people aren't gonna like come murder you in your sleep from Instagram, you're gonna be fine. Like, it's a pretty safe app. So go down, like your 25 photos. Again, this is just kind of showing Instagram, hey, I'm social, I do the stuff you want me to do. And you guys are probably gonna start finding, as you do this networking power hour, you're gonna start finding a lot more things that you personally like and enjoy, which is also so important on Instagram, okay? And I'm gonna teach you some of the things that are gonna help you find that. So once you've gone through that, we're going to power through to our next one. And this one is really important. This one is a new tool that a lot of coaches don't know about. I hope most of you do, but if you don't, it's going to change your life. So if you go to your homepage, do you guys know how to queue up Instagram posts? Like, put them into your little file so you can just go in and post them? Do you know how to do that? I don't even know what that's called. I don't even know what you would call that, but this is awesome because you can go in and I think you can create like 100 drafts of posts. It's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to do it. So I want you to click on your little plus sign, like you're going to make a post. And it doesn't matter what picture you put here because we're not going to post it. So just pull up whatever photo is on your phone and hit next. And you don't even have to filter it if you don't want to, but some change has to happen to the photo in order for this to work, or you have to put wording in the caption. So you can put a filter on it and then just go to the caption and just type in some letters. You don't even have to put anything in there. I'm just showing you how to create a draft. So you hit OK. And then normally you hit share and it goes into your feed, right? But if you hit the little back arrow instead, that's on the left side of the screen up at the very top, and then you hit it again, it'll say, if you go back now, your image edits will be discarded. It says discard or save draft. And you just hit save draft. Okay, and then once you've done that, what's cool is you can hit cancel and cancel all the way out of that. Later, or if you guys know you're gonna have a super busy day or whatever it is, like if you're have 5 seconds on the toilet to create a post, but you can't like finish it, then just hit draft. Like I know all of you do that because most of us are probably moms, and that's how this business is built, on the toilet. I say it all the time, and it's the truth. But if you hit that plus button again, what's cool is you can now go in and find all the pictures that you drafted. And you may not have even noticed this before because you didn't have any in there. But if you do now, right underneath the photos is a little section that says drafts and then manage. If you click that manage, it actually pulls up all your drafted pictures like this. So these are all just posts that are loaded and ready to go. So that at any given point, like if I'm having a day where I'm like, I freaking have nothing, like my brain is not working today, I can go in and just find something and post it, right? And you can literally, like, it's awesome. It will save your weekend time and time and time again. It's amazing, okay? To delete them, it's really simple. There's a button, once you go in and hit manage, at the very top on the right corner, there's a little button that says edit, and you just click edit, and you can literally select whatever photos you want to delete and then delete them. Really easy. I will say that if you have to delete your app and reload it, all of your drafts go away. I learned that the hard way several times. So just so you know, they don't save if you have to re-upload your app. So has everyone queued one photo? You all know how to do that. Super easy. It'll change your life. You're welcome. Okay, so next, bookmarks. Do you guys all know how to bookmark stuff? Do you know how to bookmark stuff to make your life a lot easier with your business? So I'm going to teach you guys a super awesome trick for bookmarking. So one thing that I love to do, and I create, you can now like label your folders, and you can put whatever you bookmark into specific folders. So actually when I go to like my mentors pages, or if I'm doing personal development, or if I'm like, a lot of people follow like their Christian study groups and whatever it is on Instagram, like when you find something that really speaks to you or inspires you, it's probably something that you could share that's going to have a similar reaction, right? If you feel something when you see it, put it in a little folder, bookmark it, right? So what you do is you hit the little flag underneath the photo. If you guys don't know how to do that, it's right here. You just click on that, and what comes up, it'll say save to collection. You click on save to collection, and there's a little plus sign, so you can add a new folder and label it, or you can add it to one of your ones that you already have. So what I do with this is I use this tool to create content later down the road, or I just reshare it. So if it's something that I love, like it's just always there, and I don't necessarily have to post it right that second. It just gives you that ability to have it right there on your phone. Again, if you're drawing a blank or you have no freaking idea what to give people for the day that's valuable, like if it was valuable to you at some point enough to bookmark it and put it in a folder, like that's something you can easily share to your Instagram stories. That's where I love to share that stuff. Not even in my feed. I love sharing that stuff in my stories because you can post it and create a poll. I read this today and it was amazing. I saved it on Instagram, but I wanted to share it. Does this speak to you today? Like it can literally be anything. I saw this Oreo recipe. Okay, so I'll give you an example while you guys do this. I want you to go in and save 2 posts and create a new collection that is add value. That's what I want you to label the folder. But I had a ton of people tag me on this gingerbread Oreo house for Christmas, like a gingerbread house. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to go get this. It was $65. And I was like, I'm not buying that. And I was like, I'm going to create a poll and see who would pay $65 to buy an Oreo gingerbread house. The answer was an overwhelming no. But I was able to go in and like laugh and have fun and joke around with everybody that responded to that poll, right? And again, you guys, it's all about having fun and really enjoying yourself. If you freaking hate Instagram and you hate your life on social media, this is going to be really, really hard. So learning how to make this fun for you and positive is key. And I'm telling you, if you can learn how to use Instagram to your advantage, meaning you're doing things that are bringing value to you, you're going to want to be on it a lot more, and you're going to start opening up a lot more organically. It's not going to feel so difficult. It's not going to feel so awkward. It's going to start just kind of flowing. And that's really what you want, right? Everybody is always afraid to be a salesman and come off gross or icky or whatever. But I truly believe in creating organic intention. Like, you can intentionally do things in organic ways to promote growth and success and positivity for your life and for other people. Do you guys believe that? Yes. So you can go out and get yours in organic ways and have it be awesome. And that's what I'm trying to teach you. So the next part is tag a friend. I do this a lot with my challengers because I think this is a really powerful tool to connect with them deeper. And it's a really simple one, but it goes a really, really long way. Again, whenever you see something that reminds you of somebody, a lot of the time I'm thinking about specific challengers that are in my challenge groups right now that I've had conversations with that are struggling with specific things. I sometimes will even go try and find content that kind of matches with whatever their situation is, if I'm trying to help them through something, or if it's just on the top of my mind because I've been having conversations with them about it, I'll tag them. Hey, this made me think of you. It reminded me of you. I love you. I'm thinking of you. I hope today is better, whatever it is. Like, but if you can start tagging people who matter in your business onto valuable content, not only does it show Instagram that you're using all their social stuff that they really like you to use and it will bump you up, it's also going to deepen your relationship and connection, right? The next step of this process to your challengers, to maybe even people who follow you on Instagram. Like, I have a lot of people that I've networked with over the years that are like my Instagram buddies that I love, that tag me every single day, that we talk to all the time, and it has nothing to do with Beachbody. I've never invited them. They've never talked to me about it. They're just people that make me feel good. They're just people that I like. And I think that's the cool part about social media, is that you're never really alone if you participate. And that's such a valuable lesson as a coach. You're never going to feel alone if you participate, right? So simple. Let's see. Bill and Millie said, how do I get back to the collections then after we save them? So that part, I believe is in your settings. Like, if you go to your homepage and you click on your 3 little bars at the very top up here, you should be able to see your maybe not. That's a really great question, because I always just pull them back up when I go to bookmark stuff. If someone knows the answer to that. Oh, she does. Hold on, let me unmute you. Hold on one second. Carla.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you go to your homepage,
Right.
and you click on the 3 lines.
Perfect.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. I'm doing this backwards. And then you'll see saved right there. Yeah. So that if you click on saved, it'll take you to all your collections.
Perfect. Amazing. Thank you. See, we all learn. We all learn together. Perfect. Cool. Okay. So once you've done that, and then once you've tagged a friend, we're going to go to your current followers again. So this is just another way to connect with your people who are following you. So we already left compliments maybe for people who are following you, but you can go in and like 5 or 10 people that just started following you. Just follow them back, right? And again, you're probably going to unfollow them later, because the way that this specific exercise works is you're constantly trying to recycle. Follow, unfollow, follow, unfollow. So you follow 100 people, 3 or 4 hours later, you unfollow those people and immediately follow 100 more. And then a few hours later, you do the same thing, right? If you do it a couple times a day, honestly, you guys, that's enough. Like you can do it more than that, but just doing it once, if you think about it, is more than most coaches are doing at all, right? So it's just trying to give yourself that little edge. And that's what this is about, is giving yourself that edge, right? So go in and follow. I am a little bit more particular with this part of it, just because it's a little more intentional than just the blind follow and follow. I'll go through maybe the first or the last 25 people that have followed me, and I'll just try and, I don't want to say judge, but I'll kind of look at their profile picture. And if they don't look like a Beachbody coach, or they don't look like somebody who I've networked with before or whatever, then I'll just follow them. And I'll usually follow it up with a compliment on their page. Again, you're just trying to network, right? You're trying to create an opportunity for connection. And for those of you, while you're doing this, I do a connection power hour and an invite power hour. And what's cool is if you can do these consecutively, I'm trying to get our team on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's really what the goal is to get people doing the networking power hour on Mondays, the connecting power hour on Tuesdays, and the invite power hour on Wednesdays, right? Then they all bleed really seamlessly into each other, and they start working really, really well. And they'll give you a really good flow for your social media, your invites, and you'll just get a much broader handle on what you're doing. So it's really important to understand, again, the difference between those three things. The emotion comes in at the connection. The networking is just networking, just being social, right? So once you've followed some of your followers, then what I want you guys to do is go back to your poll that you took on your Instagram story. And again, the way that you look at your results is you pull that specific picture up and then you swipe up. And it's going to show you everybody that responded. And what I want you to do is you can, there's that little arrow button, the send. You can literally just click on that, and you can either copy and paste a response if you want, or you can respond however you want individually to each person. But I would just go, I usually do this like an hour later, but you can go back and just start trying to create an opportunity for connection there. And that is simply by, and so usually what I try to do is say something like, oh my gosh, my workout today was X, Y, or Z. It was hard, it was easy, it was great, whatever it was. And then I'll be like, that's so awesome that you got a workout in. What did you do? Right? And if they're Beachbody people, don't be like, oh, they're a Beachbody person. Guys, we're all Beachbody persons, right? This is when you have a huge opportunity, again, to be that top coach, to be that coach that's like, you know what? We're all here together. We're a big family. I love you. Like, I hope the best for you. And can I tell you a huge secret? The best people that you guys can network with are other Beachbody coaches on different teams. Do you know why? Because they know stuff that you don't. Their coaches train them differently. They have different tools. They have different ideas, right? The more innovative you can be as a coach, and the more creative you can get with how you specifically run this business, guys, that's your edge, right? So like if you're keeping yourself in this tiny little box because you're afraid to talk to other people or more successful people, that's the very first thing that you need to just wipe out right now. That's not going to serve you. And one thing about this activity that I love too is that every single part of this, every single task, every single step is going to serve you again and again and again. It's going to take you straight to that goal, straight to your vision, straight where you want to go, straight to the conversation, straight to the invite, straight to your challenge group, straight to the sale, right? It creates that path, that crystal clear path. And along the way, as you network and engage with people who are trying to do the same thing or on other teams, don't be afraid to ask them how they're making their business work. That's so awesome that you're a Beachbody coach too. How long have you been doing it? Oh, I just started. That's so cool. Have you started inviting? How do you do that? Here's how I do it. I'm telling you guys, it's magic. You can get so much value out of those conversations. It's not for nothing. You just never know. And one of the coaches I was talking to earlier about this exact thing, like we as leaders can say the same thing literally 1 billion times to the same coach, and somebody will come along and say the exact same thing with a different voice, and it will click and everything will change for them. It happens all the time. It's just when they're ready, when their ears are open, the way that people say it, the way they convey the message, like all of that is so important. So let's go to the next one. If you've responded to people on your polls, you can also go back to that later on. But I want you guys to go back to the suggested for you to follow area. And you may have already done this when I had you do it with 100 people, but you can do it again, or you can follow 10 more people in another arena. So here's another thing that I do. I personally think it's really effective when I find like other fitness accounts or other blogs that I like. Like if I like a blogger, then the people who follow that person probably have similar interests to me, right? Or personality traits, because they're following a personality, if that makes sense. So going to their pages and going into their following and following 10 of their followers that just followed them is a really great way to network as well, and kind of branch out of Beachbody and get away from sort of the coaches and the network, which again, the more you guys do that, I know a lot of coaches are afraid to do that. Like they're so phoned in on like sticking with fitness people only, that's really what's messing you up. Like you're grabbing a different market when you go to bloggers, when you go to, you know, even fitness fashion sites and follow people who are following those accounts like Nike and Reebok, right? And all of these things, who may have never even heard of Beachbody, but they're obviously into fitness, right? It's just thinking a little outside the box. If you like a specific sport, right? Like I like the New England Patriots. So sometimes I go to the Patriots page, which is usually all men, which is fine because I also coach men sometimes. And I'll network with their followers, right? Because all those dudes have wives. I'm like, hello, right? And they're going to be like, go to the girl who likes the Patriots. That's the first thing they're going to say when they're like, I got to get in shape, right? So there's just so many different connections that you can make. So if you can sit down even before you do this activity again, and you can write 10 interests that you have, those are the pages or the kind of people that you can search up, and that's who you can do your follow, unfollow activities with. And it will just start branching you out. This is why it's also important, you guys, to not just constantly post just your post-workout or pre-workout or results. Like it's important to post fitness and your lifestyle and how it's affecting you and what you like and your interests and your kids and your family and all of these things, so that there's a broader picture there. You're trying to show your lifestyle, right? I go to work, I work this many hours, it's super hard. I have this many kids. This is what's going on with my husband. This is what's going on at home. When you start to talk about like why fitness is important in a relatable way, meaning the things that you're actually doing on a day-to-day basis, if you guys think about it, like your workouts are like less than an hour of your life. So you're trying to build, which is so awesome, by the way, to think about that you can build a whole business on less than an hour of your life a day, right? If you really think about it. The rest of your day, what are we doing? We should be doing this, because this activity will take away 3 hours of the time that you wasted thinking about posting, wondering what you should post, trying to figure out what you should be doing on Instagram, wondering if you're doing the right things, right? The more productive we are, the more time we have with our families. The more productive we are, the more we can contribute to them too. And that's so important. The whole purpose of this is to help us live a healthier, more fulfilling life, not take it away. Your Beachbody business should be like your stronghold. That should be like the one stable thing in your life. It shouldn't be like this up and down thing or this scary thing or like this thing that's just kind of looming in the background. Like this should be your rock solid This is mine. This is what I do to plug in for myself every day. This is what keeps me going. Because I'm telling you, if you never even earned a dime, right? That is something that would change your life forever and has changed your life forever. And that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to change more lives forever. We're trying to give them this lifestyle so that they have something stable, that no matter what's going on outside in their life, they're getting fired, somebody died, somebody was born, there's so many things that we deal with. But if this one thing can be our constant, I'm telling you guys, you will be as successful as you can ever imagine with this business. Okay. Yes, you do get in trouble with Instagram if you follow and unfollow 300 people at one time. It's really important to spread it out. Like I was saying, I wouldn't do more than 100 within a couple hours. Like you definitely want to spread that out. Let's see. IG keeps trying to link me to promote now with my post. What does this mean? That is if you want to pay for an ad. I don't know why that's pulling up for you on that, but anyway. Okay, so once you guys have done the follow 10 people suggested for you or gone into somebody else's account, then you can either, I don't usually do this because I think it's too soon, like in an hour or so or tomorrow morning, you can go back and unfollow those people that we followed tonight and follow a new set, okay? So what I want you to do over the next 30 minutes or so, wow, we did that quick, you guys, is you can now go down the other section of this little tracker, and I want you to just say, did I get any new followers? Did I get any new leads? Meaning, did I have a conversation with anybody? Did I get any new engagement? Did you get new likes? Did you get new follows? Did you get new comments? Did you get new poll voters, right? And I want you to check off whatever you've seen. I want you to check off your little wins that you got. Do you have new conversations going? Did you learn a new tool for Instagram? Did you feel more productive? Who feels like they did more tonight with their Instagram than they have ever? Nice. See? And it's not scary, right? It was super easy. It's not scary. Like it's so simple, it's stupid, which is what the basis of all my training is. It's got to be so simple that it's stupid. If I can't fit it into one piece of paper and teach it in 1 hour, it's too complicated. It's too complicated. I started my business 8 years ago with one phone call for 1 hour. That's all, right? And I've been here for 8 years, and now I'm training and teaching and doing all this stuff that I literally had zero clue about when I started. And that's just what naturally and organically happens when you engage in your business every day and you look to serve people, right? It's not rocket science. It's simple. And you don't have to run a race to get there. It's one person and one coach at a time. One challenger, one coach at a time. So whatever it is that you're like, this feels so hard, or this feels so uncomfortable, or this feels impossible, I want you to break it down to something so simple, it's stupid. Keep breaking it down and breaking it down and breaking it down until you can grasp it. And once you can grasp it, you can run. That's when you get yourself out of paralysis and you're able to move, because momentum is created through movement. If you're just sitting there and you're just learning and nothing's ever being applied, right? And that's what I love about this action hour, is that you have to do the activity. It's not just like you're learning it, like you're doing it at the same time. That lesson is so important, because that's really what's gonna edge you up again, right? That difference in going from just being a learner to being a doer is actually what's gonna get you hitting Success Club. It's gonna get you the challengers that you want. It's gonna get you having more conversations. Like even in this hour, like if you feel more confident in your approach, right? How different does it feel now if somebody's like, oh my gosh, I just found your page. Like, I love this. And they leave you a comment. Then you're like, oh my gosh, this worked. This is amazing. And then you can comment back. And it's just, again, one person, one challenger, one coach at a time. And you just build slowly, but consistently. And I'm telling you, that consistency comes with discipline. This is something my team has been like, I've been like railing them on over and over and over again. Because so many coaches are like, I just have to get consistent. I just have to get consistent. And you don't. What you have to do is get disciplined. You have to discipline yourself. That is an action word. Consistency cannot happen without discipline. So until you are actively doing something over and over and over again, right? There's just no consistency whatsoever. It doesn't exist. You create that, you cultivate that, right? And that movement every single day of just taking these small actions, having these small conversations, right? Networking with as many people as you can in a positive way that makes you feel productive and like you're intentionally moving forward in an organic way is key. There's nothing more valuable than that, I don't think, in almost any business setting. It's awesome. Okay, so write down your results. You can feel free to message me if you have direct questions. Let me just make sure I get everybody else's. And I'm gonna also pull up my Connection Power Hour because I wanna do that next week. And if you guys wanna be on that, then I'm gonna give you that information. This one we've never opened up before, but I think that, again, it's so important to understand the full process. And I think the connection part of it is something that a lot of coaches struggle with as well. Like they kind of blend all three things together. But again, if you can kind of compartmentalize or separate those things, what happens is you can be a lot more productive, a lot less emotional. You can make better decisions on who's really serious and who to really work with. It helps you value your time and what you have to give people. And that is everything. Like we are so strapped for time already. Like we have to be as productive as we can be in order to not only continue helping ourselves, but help other people, right? So I'm just gonna give you guys this connection information so you can have it if you wanna hop on that call as my gift to you for being on this call and letting me take all of your time. So I'm just gonna post it in the notes really quick, and then I'm gonna answer a couple questions and then I'll let you guys go. So if you have to go, you can go. Don't feel pressured to stay on the whole time. Oh, I hope that posts entire, okay, it does. Okay, so I posted that information for you guys. I'm just gonna answer a couple questions and then I'll let you guys go. So let's see, let me scroll all the way back down. Somebody asked if the other power hours also have trackers. They do. It's the exact same format. Although I will say the Connection Power Hour and the Invitation Power Hour don't feel as light as this one because, again, when does the emotion come in? In the connection, right? So the reason why I haven't really opened up the Connection Power Hour is because it kind of does deep dive a little bit into what's really holding you back. And I think sometimes like things can come up in that call, like that you kind of have to process and you really have to kind of force yourself to face and figure out, because that's where I think most people have the most personal insecurity and they have the most personal baggage coming into it. I don't even think it's the invite or asking people for the sale. I actually think it's with the connection. So that part of it, it often feels a lot heavier and not as productive, but afterwards you feel a lot more confident and a lot more capable of, number one, the work that you personally need to do, and where you can really focus your personal development that's really going to actually matter and not like just how can I be a better leader? Because for me, that wasn't, I mean, I went the how can I be a better leader route for like 5 years and got nowhere. It wasn't until I was like, why can't I like break this wall down? Like, why do I keep people at like an arm's distance? Like I'll let them tell me everything, but I won't let them connect with me kind of thing, right? That's really the work that I should have been doing that would really have elevated sort of my journey with this. And that's really where the Connection Power Hour comes in. But it teaches you you know, how to connect with people, how to have conversations kind of in the same way, in the same format, and same with the invite part of it. So they do have trackers and it's same format. Let's see. I have not recorded my connection power hour or my inviting power hour. So I don't have current recordings of those. And hopefully that was all of it. When we do the tag, do you mean tag them in one of the posts you made? So when you tag people, it can be really in anything. I tag people in like my mentors' comments sections. This is one really awesome networking thing that I should add to this that I haven't, that I'll give you guys as kind of a bonus network, which is the more you're seen in people's comments, the more people see your profile. If you think about like where you go on social media and like whose comments you actually read and scroll through, which for me isn't very many, but when I do, I start to notice who else is commenting, and I start looking at their profiles and what they say. And if there's something that that person said back to whatever the post was that I liked, I'll network with that person and I'll go try and follow them or leave a compliment, or I'll try and connect with them in some way. Right? Because again, you guys, social media is going to be way more awesome if you're networking for yourself as much as you're networking for your business. And what I mean by that is the more you can surround yourself in an environment that's positive, that's healthy, that's growing, that's with people who are going to elevate you and take you to the next level, which a lot of times, you guys, we don't have that in our real life. You have a huge opportunity in the virtual one to create that for yourself, to create your own support system. And if you start talking with somebody who is following Rachel Hollis as much as you are, and you guys start having conversations on her posts and you start tagging each other on her stuff, that's like huge, right? I mean, those are the kind of connections that we want in life. Don't just silo yourself into thinking, I only want to network with this person because I want them to become a Beachbody coach later on. If you're thinking like that, you're thinking wrong and you're thinking way too small. It's so much bigger than that. Right? But those, again, are the little tweaks and mindsets and shifts you can make in how you're working to work better and become better, right? That's really why we're all here. Let's see. The next Power Hour call is next Tuesday at the same time. It's next week's call. It hopefully says the 18th. Let me look. Does it not? No, it says tonight. You're right. That's tonight's call. Awesome. Hang on. Let me find the new one. Oh, it's right here. Hopefully all those people that already got off don't call in. Here's the new one. Okay, I reposted it. And again, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. I try and make time for anybody. So if you end up doing this Power Hour on your own, again, I recommend doing it at least once a week. Even that's going to help elevate and help you guys see more engagement on your Instagram. But if you had a positive experience with this, I would love to hear it. Because for me, that's the payback and the reward, is when somebody's like, oh my gosh, I learned something. This actually worked for me. And, you know, it also helps me feel like we're doing something and going in the right direction. Okay. But thank you so much for hopping on. I love you guys. Thank you to my team for helping out with the comments as always. And hopefully I will see you guys next week.